All right, this is chapter 3-5, graphing a line using intercepts. Graphing a line using intercepts. We should know that intercepts is simply where the line crosses the X and Y axis. All right, so let's look at this. The first question says, state the X and Y intercepts of Y equals 1.5X minus 9. All right, so what we're going to do is what we got to do. Let's get this color here. All right, here we go. Let's write the equation first. 1.5x minus 9. This is what I want to know. I want to know, where does the line cross the y-axis and where does the line cross the x-axis? So in actuality, we have to do this problem twice. Okay? One for the x, one for the y. All right? So what I want to do first, I want to solve for y first. I usually solve for y first because if you look at the equation, y is already alone. It's already by itself on the left side of the equal sign. So it's much easier, much faster to get rid of the x. So what we're going to do, if I'm solving for y, and if I want to know where my line is going to cross on the y-axis, I need to make x 0. All right, right there. That is the rule. If I want to solve for y, make x 0. All right, once you plug that in, you simply work it out, and this is obviously going to be 0 right there. All right, and my answer is simply -9. All right, so y equals -9. All right, or if they want you to write it as an ordered pair, then we would have 0, -9. That's the ordered pair, and y equals -9 is the equation. All right, so what that means is on the y-axis up here, remember this is the x-axis over here. This line is the x, this line is the y. I need to put my first dot at -9. So if this is -8 and this is -12, right in the middle is -10. So I need -9, which would be here. All right. All right, there we go. Let's solve the other side of this equation for x. That means I want to know where my line is going to cross on the x-axis. In that case, I need to make y 0 and solve for x. So if I want to make y 0, since I made y 0 and I want to solve for x, what I have to do is, to get the x alone, I'm going to get rid of that -9. How do I get rid of a -9? With a +9. All right. When I do that, those 9s are gone. Right? What do I have here? I have 9 equal 1.5x. So my last step here is to divide both sides by 1.5. Why am I dividing? Because this is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. They cancel because 1.5 divided by 1.5 is 1. And that's what I want, 1x. All right. And then the 9 divided by 1.5 is 6. All right. As an ordered pair, this would be 6, 0. The number 6 has to go first because the x coordinate comes first in this ordered pair, x, y. All right. So that would be, this is 4, this is 8. So 6 must be here, right there. That's what 6 would be. So that I'm going to put my dot right there. All right. Now, here's the -9. Here's a 6. So what I have to do in this case is draw a straight line. All right. My line may not be perfectly straight, but you'll get the idea of what I need to do. All right. So let me go this way here. All right. There we go. Make believe I'm using a ruler and those lines are perfectly straight. All right. So you get the idea. That is the equation for this line. If you notice, this is your y-intercept. It's already there. We didn't really have to work it out. The b part of the equation is the y-intercept. But when we do work it out, you see that that is what we get, a -9. That's what that is right there. That's the -9 spot. Okay. And when we solve for x is 6 on this side. That's this spot right here. And when we connect the dots, then we have our line creating that equation. All right. My slope is 1.5. That means that is how my line is moving. All right. All right. There we go. All right. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. I need to. Let's delete this. All right. All right. Let's look at this particular problem. We want to do the same thing we did on the last one, where we are going to find out what the x and the y intercepts are to graph. All right. So I need to know where the line will cross the y-axis, where the line will cross the x-axis. I'm going to use those 2 points to graph my line. All right. So here's my equation: y equals negative 1/3 x plus 5. I do notice that my slope, which is my m, is negative. So my line will be going downward. But let's work out the problem. Remember, we need to write it twice. All right. I'm going to write this twice because I need to solve it 2 times. All right, so let's look at the first time here. Let's get this color here. So like I said last time, I like to solve for the variable y first because it's the easiest one to do. Why? Because the variable y is already by itself on the left side of the equation. So we simply solve for y by making x 0. When I do that, you can now see that this will be 0 plus 5, because any number times 0 is 0. All right, so you should already know that y is going to equal 5, which you already knew from the beginning because the y-intercept is right there. Okay, that's the b. Y equals mx plus b. The b is the y-intercept, but this is showing the work. All right, so that means if y is 5, my ordered pair will look like this: 0, 5. All right, because the first number is the x coordinate and the second number is the y coordinate, and therefore I have it in the right order. Don't get those two mixed up. All right, so on the y-axis, which is right here, on the y-axis I need to find 5. Put a dot. I see 4, I see 8. Where is 5? Well, in the middle of 4 and 8 is 6. So that means I got to go between 6 and 4, which is right here. This would be my 5 spot. Put my dot there. All right, let's solve the other side. This time, instead of solving for y, I'm going to solve for x. So in order to do that, I must make y 0. Okay, going to make y 0. So if I'm making y 0, what I want to do is subtract 5 from both sides. Remember now, my goal is to get the x alone. So I want to move these numbers away from the x. All right. 0 plus a negative 5. That is a negative 5. So I'm adding a negative 5 to 0, which is still negative 5. Now, right here, interesting, I got a fraction in front of the variable. I got to get rid of the fraction. Do you remember what to do to get rid of fractions? It's simple. We always use the rule of multiplying by its reciprocal. So that would be negative 3 over 1. So negative 3 over 1, or just negative 3 on this side. So on this side here, D will cancel. They're gone. We should know why. Negative times negative is positive. Okay. Reciprocals cancel, equaling 1. I am left with the x. So I bring the x down. And now I could simply multiply these two sides here. These two numbers. I have negative 3 times negative 5 is a positive 15. So my answer is x equals 15. As an ordered pair, it would be 15, 0. Remember that the first number now is the x, and that is the y. Therefore, that is the answer. All right. So let's plug that in on our graph. So x is 15. So I see my x on the axis over here on the graph, and I got to find 15. I see 12, I see 16. Where is 15? So in the middle of 12 and 16 is a 14, but I want 15, so I need to move over right there. All right, there we go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is simply connect the two dots. Again, you should have a ruler, but on here I can't do that. So I'm going to draw my line as straight as I possibly can. Make believe it's straight, and I'm using a ruler. There we go. Straight enough. You get the idea. That's what our line will look, just a little straighter than that using a ruler. All right. So based upon this equation, right? Based upon this equation, which is right here, this is the line. This is the line for that equation. Now, how do we check it? Let's look at it. Remember this right here, plus 5? That is my y-intercept right here. Remember this right here, negative? That means my line is going downward from left to right. It is. All right? And I'm going downward at the rate of down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3. And that is correct. All right? All right. Let's look at one more. All right. This question here says, Malden Middle School wants to make $4,740 from yearbooks. All right, so we can see that's the goal. They want to make a lot of money from yearbooks. Print yearbooks X cost $60. Notice what they did? They put the variable X right after the print yearbooks. I'll let you know that's the axis it's going to be on. And digital yearbooks Y cost $15. So obviously the Y values will be our digital yearbooks, and the X values will be yearbooks that is printed. All right. This can be represented by the equation 60x plus 15y equals 4740. Use the x and y intercepts to graph it. All right. The main thing here is that they gave us the equation. That's mainly what we need. All right. We need the equation. All right. So let's look at this. This right here is the equation we need. So let's write that here. 60x plus 15y equals 4740. Now, if you notice, this particular equation looks different than the one we did before. This is called standard form. So in this standard form, it's not in the slope-intercept form. All right. So it looks a little bit different. But either way, we're going to work it out the same way we did before. We want to solve for the x values and we want to solve for the y values. So let's start with the x value. If I want to solve for x, we got to make y 0. If I want to solve for y, we're going to make x 0. So that's what we're going to do. Let's start with solving for x. So if I want to make y 0, so let's do that. It's going to be 60x plus 15 times 0 equals 4740. Again, I'm solving for x. So here I have 60x plus 0 equals 4740. Divide, well, let's do this first. Before I divide, I'm going to write that again without the plus 0 in there. This is what we're really solving right here. All right, so let's go ahead and divide right here, divide right there. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Divide both numbers by 60. Why do I want to do that? So they will cancel, leaving me with the x all by itself. And x equals 79. All right. So my ordered pair would be 79, 0. All right. That is the value for x. What does that mean? I'm going to be right here, and right before the 80 line is my 79 line. So it kind of looks like it's on exactly on 80, but I have to make my dot big enough for you to see it. So it's a very close estimate. I'm right there on 79, but it looks like 80, but it's not. All right. It's just before it. All right. So let's keep going. On the other side, I want to solve for y now. So I'm going to make x 0. So let's do that. Let's make x 0 right here. And I want to solve for y. So we already know that that's going to be 0. It's not that hard. You're only multiplying by 0. So that part would be 0. Now, you can see that when I do that, I just have 15y equals 4740. So what do we do now? You already know. We're going to divide both sides by 15. Why am I dividing by 15? So that they will cancel. 15 divided by 15 is 1. That's what I want. I want 1y. So y now equals 316. My order pair would be 0, 316. All right. So since my y value is 316, I come back over here and I go up to 316. Now, I see 300 and I see 350. I don't see 316. So we got to estimate right there. I'm going to estimate. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. But that's just an estimate. You just got to be close there. All right. All right. So here we go. What we're going to do now is simply connect these two dots. Again, you know that's a little off. So let me try again here. All right, there's the line. All right, that's close enough. Again, you'll be using a ruler in class. Not right now on this screen. But when you connect the two dots, that's where they will be. And keep in mind that you will not have arrows at either end. They will stop right where they are. All right. So again, X is 79, and that's where we are here. My number disappeared, but this is about 80 right there. So 79 is just before it. And over here is 316. So I made a big dot. So it's between 300 and 350. 315 is in the middle, closer to the 300. All right, very good.